What's going on, everybody? It's Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of Unscripted. Listen, it is Tuesday night. You know what that means. I have some of the biggest, the baddest, the best wrestlers of today and yesteryear. And guess what? Tonight is no different. Ladies and gentlemen, Goldberg. Well, it's the big show. DTP Bang. What do all those three wrestlers have in common, other than two of them are current WWE Hall of Famers and one of them is a future WWE Hall of Famer? They will not be where they were today if it wasn't for the WCW Power Plant. And you cannot say WCW Power Plant without the Sarge himself, Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker. How are you tonight, my man?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How's life?
It's good. Everything's
Awesome.
good.
How's the new year so far, my man?
Yeah, we just my family's doing great, and my grandson's living with me, so we're doing great.
Awesome, man. Awesome. What are you up to nowadays?
Well, I'm doing a lot of podcasts and making some special appearances, and then also running some training lessons. So to
Nice.
back what they used to do in the old days. We could never bring it back to NWA or WCW, but there's a fine line in between training, like the people I trained, and what's going on today.
Yeah, yeah. Fantastic, man. Well, it's great that you're doing well, and that's fantastic to know that you're still training, man. Didn't you have some type of didn't you show up as like an authority figure in some indie show last year?
Yeah, I did.
Somewhere in Georgia.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give back to the young
Nice, man.
guys. I went to a show and I talked to the guys, and then I did a 2 hour seminar before that.
Okay.
Good to see that them guys did what I showed them 2 hours later to do what they're doing in their match. And then I would go out and critique their match.
Mm-hmm.
and go backstage and tell them what I thought. So
Nice.
it was a
Mm.
good feeling. It was,
Awesome, man. Awesome. Ready to get into these questions?
and
You ready to get into these questions?
what now?
I say you ready to get into the you ready to get into these
Yeah.
questions? Yeah. All right, here we go. Aaron's asking what happened with Batista's power plant tryout.
Well, you know what? WCW was set up for a training program there. So he did come in for a trial. I did run him off. Uh, but I knew WCW was not going to take him like he was. So I thought I did him a great favor going to WWE because they sent him to the Cincinnati, whatever their training ground is, to learn to
Mm-hmm.
be a wrestler and
Mm-hmm.
uh, and stuff. But I think he still holds it against me. But
Really?
I think all things looking at it is the best thing to happen for him.
Mm. What
Because,
was it about at that time? I know he's green. He was still super jacked. What was it about Batista that you really didn't think was clicking at that time?
well, it wasn't necessarily him. It was more necessary for WCW
Okay.
because they didn't have a program for them to go. And I pitched that pitch a long time ago, and they did. They said that was too much like reality TV, and I was like, "Damn, what is? I mean, darn, what is everything you turn on TV now is reality TV."
Yeah.
So I told them, I said, "Look, let's run their background. Let's put a camera in the car. Watch them go to WCW Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Go to and they get beat, and then they come back and they finally win. Everybody rushes the ring like a Super Bowl, and then they go to Worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. Uh, then they go to Thunder, same thing. Then they go to Nitro, the same thing. Because then you developed your own talent, for everybody to follow, see them go through
Mm-hmm.
the adversity that they got to go through to be a professional wrestler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got to put in the work. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Uh,
get
yeah.
shows in the power plant. So give me Bob Armstrong, Bobby Eaton, and a few others,
Yeah.
and we could run right out of the power plant,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
uh, they just refused me, and I asked them to put a camera on the above the ring, like
Mm-hmm.
NWA. I mean, like football does now to now,
Mm-hmm.
and they dismissed me. And if I called we called everything when I was wrestling. We called everything in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it is now when Vince um has writers and then he turns around and changes things at last minute. And I'm not downing him,
Mm-hmm.
just saying that used to we got our finish, but everything was called in the ring. That's why I love Fit Finley, Dave Taylor, Larry Zabisco, and all them guys.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
anyway.
Absolutely. Guillermo's asking, how was it training and working with Goldberg?
It was pretty good, man. I tell you the truth, he was a genuine athlete when
Mm-hmm.
he came in, and then I had him Big Show, Kevin Nash, and all of them at the same time. And we had four rings. I was jumping ring to ring every day.
Mm-hmm.
People were scared of them because they're green and whatever. Uh, Actually, Bret Hart put me down for that. Uh, so I didn't put much emphasis on people protecting themselves. I'm like, Bret, you come from the Heart Foundation. You don't know how to get your hand up. I mean, my gosh, she's getting the biggest push ever, and biggest push in Hogan. So if you don't know how to get your hand up when he kicks you, shame on you. You know, but but it's okay.
Why do you think he was so upset about that? Still,
Well, he's
he,
got concussion syndrome, so
yeah.
he is he's blaming me and Bill for that. But honestly, I went up there to work in Calgary. I mean, not Calgary. Yeah, Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Hart said he wanted
Stampede.
that team, so me and Dale come up with that. My mother was a police officer. She knew somebody in the state patrol.
Mm-hmm.
All our stuff was real, and we got stopped many times in the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Checking our bag because if you don't check your bag, you can't work. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, many times we got stopped because of the handcuffs and nightsticks and whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, I I think I had a pretty good career.
Mm-hmm. Derek is asking, did you want to be involved in more storylines in WCW?
Yes, I did. And
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not, I had a call from Sonny Ono about AEW. I was in the hospital at that time, had some medical issues, but uh, they had Ray Lloyd down at the Monster Factory.
Glacier.
Yeah,
Yes.
but man, he got the ultimate push and he failed.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not a trainer. He's I'm not putting him down, but I'm just talking out loud. He's not a trainer. He's not. He's like an ordinary worker, So uh, I should have said when I get out of the hospital, I'll be glad to take you up on that. But water's underneath the bridge, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. What was your first impression of Paul White, the Big Show?
Paul White was great, man. He actually come down and and did everything we told him to do, and he said, "Well, Sarge is like a 5'8" piece of dynamite."
Mm-hmm.
So I respect him a lot. I appreciate the career he's got. He's went to AWE. Uh, so with Vince, even if you got a contract, it don't matter. They just tie you up in court till you're broke. So
Mm.
anyway,
Did you have a contract with Vince?
my students are doing better, than I am.
Did you have a contract with Vince?
They offered me a contract to come out and do the power plant there,
Okay.
and then they decided to go with Bill DeMont and them
Mm.
guys,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a circus, and then I decided that I'm not going to boom my family up to Connecticut for Vince's word, because, as you can see, every day he's letting people go, no
Yeah.
matter what their contract is. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of blessed in that respect.
Would you ever be interested in working for NXT as a trainer?
I would love to. I would
Mhm.
love them to reach out to me.
Mhm.
To
I
be
think you fit in well, man. I think you would fit in with Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. I mean,
Yeah,
I've been on Life magazine with Triple H, and
nice,
Road Dog and a bunch of others, and I mean we're on Life magazine, so you can't get any better than that, all right? Uh,
nice.
but I wish they would reach out to me and let me have some kind of authority to help the young guys
Hmm.
learn their craft.
Yeah. Rito's asking, what would you say you got started in wrestling? What feud was the most influential in your career?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
What would you say you got started in wrestling? Is what it says. So I guess
Well,
what made you get started in wrestling?
and this is gonna profound people, but uh, actually was doing apartment maintenance, and then I had a friend of mine that had me move his daughter several times, and he was like ringing the bell. So he taught me how to talk to be a professional wrestler.
Hmm.
Went up to Ole Anderson, and I said, "Sir, I beg your pardon, but can you please recommend a school for me to go to?" And he wrote his number on a napkin. That was Sunday night, at the Omni. And so I called Monday, and the secretary answered and said, we're expecting your call. I was like, really? Yeah, I thought I was going to ring at Shell gas station. So he goes, well, there's two places. He got online, he got online and said, there's two places you can go. Jerry Oaks down in Columbus, Georgia, or Jody Hamilton School in Lovejoy, Georgia. I
Hmm.
lived in um, Riverdale then. So naturally, I picked Jody's school, and I always watched him when I was growing up. I had great respect for him. God bless his soul. I'm sorry he passed away. But uh, I wrestled for him, and I hung sheetrock during the day. I trained 3 nights a week. I also wrestled on the weekends. And then I had my first match in 3 months at a little bar store over in Athens, Georgia. He had it all blacked out. You couldn't tell it was a small place. So I was very blessed to be graced with that kind of talent. You know,
Hmm.
Dusty. God bless his soul. He was so good to me and put me over in
Hmm.
every match. And so is Tony Schiavone. Same deal. So, I am really blessed to have the career that I have.
Yeah. James is asking, earlier today I watched your match with Perry Saturn from WCW '98. Great match. What was it like working with him? And what did you think of his WWE debut in 2000 along with the fellow radicals, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, and
I
Chris Benoit?
think he didn't fit in, like Dean and a few others. I know he had some struggles because I'm friends with Sonny Ono and all that. So,
Hmm.
and Ernest Muller, I trained him, and Eric Bischoff. But I always got along with Perry, even though he wore the dress and all that stuff. But when it comes down to it, if you earn the respect of your opponents, that's the most important thing.
Hmm.
Oh, and a lot of times we didn't get nothing but our finish, and we called it in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's missing these days because Vince likes to have writers, and then he likes last minute change things. So I don't know how they remember everything that they're supposed to remember. So yes, when we wrestled, we got our finish. That was the only thing. And then when I went out to do an interview, I went out sat in the place where it had all the chairs and stuff like that. Thought about my match, thought about what I was going to say, and then I went and did my interview.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how them guys keep up with all that
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many people involved in WWE that changes things at the last minute that shouldn't really happen. But I'm not down in Vince. He is what he is, and that's what we got to take counter to. But
Yeah.
I think AWE is doing things a lot better. But the only thing I worry about is like their 4-man tags where they're going out and do planches and all kinds of stuff. They're not going to have the career that I had for 22 years with WCW,
Mm-hmm.
and then other before that. So I just kind of wonder what's going on, you know.
Yeah. Derek is asking, who is the most difficult WCW superstar to train?
Oh my gosh. Still. I would say Mike Sanders. You know,
Really? Above average, huh?
he become the he come to the power plant and trained and all that stuff. But then when they promoted him to commissioner and all that stuff, and the guys that I trained like um you know different other people. I can't recall their names right now, but uh I think that was a slot that Ric Flair and Mike Sanders had a problem with. So you know,
What's did they have? Ric Flair had a problem with Mike Sanders being a commissioner.
yeah,
Really?
Mike wanted to be Mike, and then Ric Flair's got a different perspective on everything. And he keeps landing on his feet. I don't know how, but um, because I hate to say it, but he's a big time drinker and whatever. But it doesn't matter to me because I had Jane Engel booked us on the other side of the Marriott, uh, away from guys.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when he was buying food and drinks, I went down, took advantage of that, but I went back to my room and so I go to the gym the next day, and then I was always friendly with the production crew and
Mm-hmm.
the camera crew. So I had one instance that I was in Orlando doing taping, and Jody set up for this guy to help me, and he didn't show up. So the production people and also the camera people delayed their appointment to help me load the ring to go to a pay per view in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So I was involved in all aspects of WCW as far as building the rings. I built all the rings. I did sent people to the ring. I I mean, I drove the ring truck. I did everything. I built
Mm-hmm.
EA Sports ring for them to do the production of the video games. I went up and did the video games with people out of the school. They didn't send me nobody to the end, and they sent me Codan and Bam Bam Bigelow. and Bill and me and Bam Bam was doing mocap in the work and the works of it, and they pulled in a limo and rushed the ring, and uh, and I had a call from Eric Bischoff saying, "Look, them guys are on the next pay per view. They can't get hurt." So I was a bouncing ball.
Mhm.
So I actually Bill threw me out of the ring. Bam Bam caught me. I went through a table. Then Conan, they had the computer rigged up with glass to hit me in the head with, but he took the keyboard and hit me in the head with, and then Bill speared me to two walls, uh,
Wow.
a fake wall that I had him to build, and
Yeah.
then the real wall.
Hmm.
So needless to say, I choked Conan out in the backstage. But anyway, that doesn't matter. But the guy at EA Sports cut that out because that's the first production they had in their deal, and it's hanging in the atrium right now.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Chad is asking, how real is the CTE concussion problem in the business?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
How real is the CTE concussion problem in the business?
Oh, it's real. It's really real. I've had 14 that I know of.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow.
Probably a couple that I was in Japan that I didn't want to go home, because they send you home right away. And especially EA Sports, I train people that's out of school, So Mike Sanders tried to do the Triple H deal on me, and he
Hmm.
jumped past the mat, drove my head in the ring. So I seen what their medicine is first aid, and I remember Bobby Eaton and my wife calling me every 5 minutes to try to keep me awake. I was like, please quit calling me.
Mm.
Shut the phone off, but they were just looking out for my better health, and God bless Bobby. I just hate that he lost so many people.
Yeah.
Stuff, but anyway, they had us booked in the room in the hotel where the X Files was being taped.
Mm.
So they didn't
Had
have
to be scary.
nothing. So I booked us over to another hotel, and I booked us up on the like 22th room.
Hmm.
And Bobby's like scared, you know,
Really?
like hugging the walls and stuff, and says,
Oh, wow.
"George, can I get booked on the first floor?" I'm like, "No, Bobby. The only reason I took him there because WCW was ready to fire him.
Mm.
I can't let a good buddy of mine like that uh, take the downfall.
Hmm.
So, there's a lot of finishes that I took that I shouldn't have took because people trust me. So,
Hmm.
and once you earn the trust of the main top guys, then it's fairly simple, It really is.
Yeah.
What I don't think people understand these days because back in the day, I was a driver while everybody was drinking.
Hmm.
So you learn your abilities through stories that they're telling on the road as
Hmm.
you're going home. So I think that's a lost art.
Yeah. Last question of the night from Elvis. What are your memories with Death Der Rove Baby? Any funny
Uh,
memories with him
uh,
backstage?
he, I tell you what, I didn't go to his funeral. I regret it to this day because I knew it's going to be WWE and WCW people, and it's going to be like a show. where everybody's gonna be taping it and all that
Mm,
stuff. But but I love Dusty. He gave put us over every night on TV. I wrestled Dustin many times, and Cody is breaking the ground for uh, next future of wrestling. far as being an AEW and then doing also the Big Show and different stuff. And my hat's off to him. I reached out to him several times.
mhm,
He was reaching back to me, and I had the opportunity to go there. But, I was in the hospital and, I just decided that it was probably best for me to stay aside.
mm,
So, but anyway, now that I look at it, I wish I'd changed my mind. So,
mm,
because that could have helped a lot of people,
yeah.
learn psychology, because that's what's lost these days. Psychology is, like if I lock up with you and you take me down, and I try to sit out, I go to the ropes, and then you try to back off, or reach your leg, you kick me off, and you push me off to arm drag.
Mhm,
It's all about telling the story in the ring. A lot of times, we cuffed it on the ring, and especially on live TV. So even though they had mics and the deal, and especially in Japan, Stan Hansen's got us over there. So it's a great privilege to have him speak up for you.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Separate me and Dale at one time, and he was wrestling it. First matches that I was wrestling, main event matches with Stan Hansen, Terry Gordy, and Dr. Jeff Steve Williams, and
mhm,
all that. And there's nothing like seeing uh, Stan Hansen attack the young guy, and then damn Dr. Jeff Steve Williams attacks me. It's like darn, But
mhm,
I still got a several things I got from Japan back in the day that China doll up here and the Ribungi uh, deal because that was big in the day,
yeah,
and pearls from that guy over there.
mhm,
Uh, but one time we were in Ribungi, and man, the line was wrapped around three times the building, and so we went ahead of the line, of course, and then the guy was like you know, he was like a Navy guy, so
mhm,
he's big and tough or whatever. And he said, we were wearing the uniform like Zubaz and all that type of stuff. And he goes, I can't believe they're letting. I can't say that what they said, but it's PG. But he said something about what we were wearing,
mhm,
and I remember that Stan Hansen turned. I mean, Terry. I mean, Dr. Steve Williams turned to him and said, "What you say?" And he said the same thing. And then he instead of punching him, he gave him a forearm, and then he punched me in the eye. So
wow,
it was funny because then Terry Gordy came around the corner and wiped him out. And then we rushed to the taxis to get in the taxi, so we didn't get involved because everybody was around.
yeah,
And then I made it the running joke of the whole tour, with Steve Williams, because I had a big black eye. So funny story.
wow. Wow. Well, let the listeners know where to find you, my man. You is your Facebook page public, or you just is more
Yes, my
private? Okay,
Facebook page is public.
nice.
Also,
Under
if
Dwayne Bruce.
me, my email is sarge7381 at gmail.com.
Let me
I'm
put that
also
in here.
selling merchandise and different stuff. I talked to Brian Clark. I trained him
Hmm.
every day. Uh, Dallas Page and Goldberg, they kind of fell off the way in, but me and Brian have been best friends for a long time. He wrestled as Chronic and Adam Bomb at
Hmm.
WWF. He's
Yep.
actually changed by Osbager, which
Yep.
couldn't show him anything.
Yeah.
Then he come down to the power plant, and I remember getting him ready for that, and then
Hmm.
also getting him bookings, uh, no matter what it would be, to get a payday. And
Yep.
then I worked out with him at a crappy gym down at WWA4. I don't know, but it's nasty.
Yeah.
I get him ready for Japan.
Yeah.
Man,
That's your email, right? Sarge7381, you said at gmail.com.
yeah, charge7381 at gmail.com.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, yeah, it's funny that you mentioned Paige. He's actually a work colleague with me now.
Yeah,
We have a show every week now. Yeah.
you know what? I reach out to him every day and he don't get
Hmm.
back with me. I don't understand that.
Interesting. I hope everything just I hope everything works out well. He actually texted me today.
He
Uh,
is a great guy, but he's a
mhm.
self promoter, so
It's
uh
positively Paige.
always have, you know.
Yeah.
So uh I
Yeah.
trained him at the first power plant.
Hmm. Yep.
So him and Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
So I consider him a friend, and
Hmm.
I don't understand why they don't reach back to people.
I'm gonna text him right now. All right.
Cameron Beach is a guy I trained down at the power plant, and he does stuff for FEMA and homeless people and uh, stuff. And Dallas wrote him a check and didn't sign the bottom of it. So,
Mm.
like, dude.
Shoot me your message me your number. I'll text Paige. I talk to Paige all the time. So
I don't want nothing from him. I just want to talk to him.
okay, yeah, just
You know,
shoot me your info and
you know,
I'll let Paige know.
you
Give
know,
me a call.
got remarried and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
I just like to talk to him, and I like to talk to Bill too. You
yeah,
I reached
absolutely.
his his profile, and he
Yeah.
answered me back.
Hmm.
But me and Brian Clark talk every day, so
Nice. Yeah, he's Brian's a nice guy. I've talked
he,
to him a lot too. Yeah.
believe it or not, when I was in Vancouver, uh, the Canucks, the hockey team,
Vancouver. Yep.
did the home of people who had cancer and stuff. So uh, what I did is I packed two separate bags of all Bill Goldberg stuff and then my stuff.
Hmm.
I took it to all the children up there, and then the guy was wanting to talk to Bill so bad, so I called him on my phone, and he answered. And he usually don't like to do stuff like this, but I said, "Bill, is close, close." So he talked to him. I had him in Bill Goldberg T-shirt, bandana, everything that Bill had. smile on his face. And then when I came back the next time, he had passed away.
Mm,
I gave stuff to other kids too, by the way. But
mhm,
you know what? That was the best blessing I think I ever had. Because I made his last hopes alive. And
mm,
so
yeah.
anyway. Um,
Well, Sarge, it's been a
remember
pleasure, man.
the I
What's
can't
that?
stuff that happened 15 minutes ago, but I can remember stuff happened 20 years ago.
You got good long term memory, man. So you've
Uh,
been such instrumental part of the business, man. So thank you for all your contribution. Thank you for your hard work of building Hall of Famers, man. So if it wasn't for you, there'd be a
much.
lot of people who wouldn't be in that Hall of Fame right now.
Oh, I enjoyed everything I did. I put my body through a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't have.
Hmm.
I have to wear titanium knee braces to this day. And but you know what? I wouldn't trade anything for anything that I've done.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm greatly appreciative of my career. I'm greatly appreciative of my students.
yeah.
I'm greatly appreciative of you having me on today.
Nice. My man, Buddy Lee Parker, ladies and gentlemen. Go follow him on Facebook, Dwayne Bruce, and send him an email, sarge7381 at gmail.com. My man Bruce has been fantastic. Thanks so much for coming
Thank
on the show tonight.
you, sir. I love you very much, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. The feeling is back at you, my man. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Have
All
a good
right.